The latest decision on interest rates is due at midday for the fourth month in a row. Rates are expected to be kept on hold, and if they're not, Simon's promised to eat a mouse.
I have that kind of mouse, not a real live mouse. Yes, but they're at 0.5%, the lowest in their history. But what difference is actually making to the cost of borrowing? Now, last October, the Bank of England started to cut interest rates in an attempt to ease the credit crunch and get banks lending again. So are these measures driving down the cost of mortgage borrowing, for example? Let's have a look at how much we're paying for our mortgages. In July 2007, when the base rate was 5.5%, the average tracker mortgage cost 5.98%. A difference of just under 0.5%. Today, it's a very different picture. Interest rates are now at a record low of 0.5%. We're paying 3.77% for an average two-year tracker mortgage. Taking the difference there, the bank's margin from 0.5% to nearly 3.5%. Let's compare that with a two-year fixed rate in July 2007. The average rate was 6.24%. But interestingly, lenders were paying more for this money than you were, 0.05% more. Today, the average two-year fixed rate mortgage is 5.15%. But lenders are no longer paying more for this money. In fact, they're only paying interest rate of 2.11% on the money markets, which means their margin is more than 3%. So, are we paying too much for our mortgages? Let's chat to one of our regular housing experts, Henry Pryor. Now, Henry, their margins are massive now. It looks like a rip-off.
Well, the margins are big, but I think the important thing to remember is that, as you were rightly saying in all those figures and statistics you were giving us a moment ago, the great news is that unlike August 2007, the peak of the housing market, lenders are lending money at rates that they are above what they are actually borrowing this money for in the first place. So we've got back to at least sensible business practice.
Should we be grateful that they're making such a big profit then?
Well, I think the important thing to remember is...
I don't feel that we should, really.
One doesn't feel incredibly generous towards these people by nature, obviously, but I think the important thing for us all to remember is that we're now significant shareholders in the vast majority of these businesses, and so as a result, we're actually quite keen to see them making a profit. We don't want them to be seen to be profiteering, which is one of the things that they're leaving themselves open to, but I think the important thing to see is that they're running a stable business, they're out there beginning to lend money again, which is so critical to the housing market, and we might actually see something come back from that.
OK, only just beginning. We've got a survey from the National Association of Estate Agents saying 1 in 4 people can't get a mortgage, and I know from experience there are approvals backed up waiting for mortgage approval, which just isn't coming.
Well, one National Association member has 47 sales stacked up waiting to go, waiting for mortgage approvals, and one of the big problems we have is still that the lending market, and as a result the housing market, is completely log-jammed. Till that comes out, we're all in for a bit of a problem, I'm afraid.
Now, you talk about mortgage availability, but Nationwide the other day said they were offering what amounts to 125% mortgage. What's going on there?
Well, I think that probably someone in the Nationwide press office is a little off message, coming 24 hours as it does after the Chancellor told us that he's going to review banking regulation, almost certainly perhaps looking now at some kind of cap on the loan-to-value ratio that got the banks into the kind of exposure that we've just seen over the last 18, 24 months. So I'm sure that we're going to see that clamped down on. Nationwide product is actually only for their own existing borrowers, but nevertheless, it's perhaps a little inopportune to be putting that out at the moment.
Are mortgage rates going to come down in the next few months? I mean, are we going to see cheaper mortgages available?
No, you're going to see mortgage rates in due course go up, and as a result of today, where the base rate's kept the same, you won't be eating your mouse.
OK, excellent. Another person who thinks I'm safe from eating the mouse.
Mouse saved.
Another mouse saved. Back to you two.
The computer mouse, we're keen to point out.
Yes.
Some rock star
I'm not sure that
stunt.
it's going to taste any nicer.